I believe in you too. Hello everyone, my name is Kaadzik and this is Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2. A beautiful 1993 NES game. I love the visuals, I love the soundtrack, I hope you love it too. You should listen to it. You won't hear it too much because I'm talking too much, but yeah, you can play the game yourself. It's quite easy and simple, as you may have seen. So I'm ready for running, so I'm just gonna... as soon as I select Chip, we can just start a countdown, I guess. It's not an exact countdown, but it doesn't matter, it's just a marathon run. So, 3, 2, 1, go! So we have started the game, Fat Cat has escaped the prison, oh what a surprise, we have to chase after him again. So we go to a restaurant, because that's how you chase after a bad guy, you go to a restaurant to eat something, like big burgers that are bigger than you, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. You may wonder why do I play as Chip, because he's better, and if you think otherwise, it's okay, it's not illegal to be wrong. The other thing is, you may see that I avoid those RR tokens that are collectibles here as much as possible, because they are counted at the end of each stage, and you know, every one of them costs me 4 frames, so we need to save the frames. Oh, I actually have only 1 health, so I cannot damage boost here. It's a good thing that I've noticed, because I don't like restarting the screen again, that would be pretty bad. So we are at the end of the first stage, you see, it's that simple. It's a really cute, nice game that you can speedrun yourself. We are nearing the end of the first level, as I've mentioned. There is the only time in the entire run we see this adorable guy that turns off the sink so we can go upwards. And one of the 2 reasons this we could do damage boost here is because Monty, our friend, heals us just before the boss fight, which is pretty convenient. And we're fighting this guy. This guy is Water Rabbit, because he's a rabbit and because he shoots water. Pretty simple. This shows you why no one plays this game in speedrun-wise. We don't have that many runners, because this game is very RNG heavy. As you can see, the rabbit isn't behaving as much as I would like him to. Jesus, that's really bad RNG. I'm gonna waste this box because I cannot pick it up right now. He needs 6 hits for me to kill him. But the thing is, I'm powering up my... Oh, I almost died there. Okay, I'm not powering up this time. But I'm powering up my shots. So that instead of the box doing 1 damage, it does 2 damage. So after only 3 hits, it should be killed, but at the end I didn't power up one of the boxes, but it doesn't matter, it's still fine. So after the restaurant, of course, we have to go to the sewers, because every game has to have a sewer level. So we are at the best stage in the entire game, because it's one of the few stages that has no RNG whatsoever. The stages themselves don't have any RNG, but the boss fights at the end, as you may have seen, do. So, this is the only boss fight in the entire game that doesn't have any RNG whatsoever. That's why it's my favorite level. Next levels are also quite fine, because the next boss can be manipulated, so it's kinda not RNG that much. And the 4th stage doesn't have any boss. So it's a really cool stage as well, and that's why I like them. But after that, oh boy, we're coming for a ride. But for now, this is the boss that doesn't have any RNG whatsoever. We are introduced to the wind physics that, you know, I'm standing here and he pushes me away, so I have to counter it a little bit. Casually, this boss is pretty hard, because many people just don't know the tactic of how you beat this guy. But as soon as you learn the cycles and the proper technique to beat him, it's pretty simple, because, as I said, it doesn't change any time. And if you, for some reason, were to be a bad guy, any of you in the chat or watching the stream, don't provide ammo for your enemy or for the protagonist. That's not how being a bad guy works. And that's how almost every single bad guy in this game works. They provide you with ammunition that you have to kill with, that you have to kill them with. Yeah, that's how English works. So, the 3rd stage is kind of unique, because it's the only stage that doesn't have cutscene beforehand, because technically the plot of this stage was introduced in the cutscene of the previous stage, and there is a story to this game, believe me, there is. But it's so complicated that explaining Kingdom Hearts is simpler, trust me. And Chip and Dale are also in Kingdom Hearts, so that's kind of convenient. And one of the cool things about this stage as well is the only stage we can complete without taking any RR tokens, because in all other stages they are placed in a way that there is no way to avoid them, except this one. In this one we could, doing a nifty damage boost that you've probably seen or missed, because I'm talking too much. So this is a really hard boss fight, that's why I'm cheesing through it. And this is the guy that we can manipulate, because he shoots us depending on which part of the stage we are. And this is one of the 2 bosses that we can hit with boxes as well. So as you can see, 3 powered shots take care of him. The thing with this fight is, as you could see, 0 ARA tokens. The thing with this fight is, the thing with the loading up boxes that they deal double damage, right? Well, you have to walk in a straight line for 20 frames or something in order to load the box, and you cannot turn away. But if you frame perfectly, change directions, you can still load the box. And I did it 4 times in a row. 3 times in a row. So I did 4 turns 3 times in a row, basically. Yeah, I've played this game too much. Also, this is the freezer, because there was a trap set up by Fat Cat, so we have to go away. And it's the shortest stage in the entire game because it's done. It's over. It's fine. We have 3 minutes to go away from it, but because it's simple and fine, and it doesn't have any boss, it's pretty quick. You can complete it in 20-something seconds, or 30 if you're me right now. Okay, the next area. The Haunted House. The best area in the game. You've probably heard me talking about RNG and stuff. Well, it kicks in right now. Because this is the heaviest enemy in terms of RNG in the entire game, because it has 2 attacks instead of just 1. It can either provide you with ammo, like every villain shouldn't do, or he actually does something useful for him, not for us, which is shooting a lightning, which does nothing for us and wastes us time. Great! And he really likes to throw the lightning and not the boulders that we're supposed to kill him with. So just bless RNG in the chat that it's gonna be fine. Another nifty damage boost, because it's an easy boss, but it's time consuming because of the fact that we have to wait for the boulders. He can throw boulders in 3 different patterns, the fast one, medium one, and slow one. Actually, I forgot to throw it and I missed it, okay. The slow one is the best because this is the only kind of pattern that can give us 2 boulders at one cycle instead of just 1 boulder per cycle, because there is a rule in this game, unwritten rule, that 2 projectiles cannot be on the screen at the same time. If there is 1 projectile on the screen, the second one despawns immediately. Wow, these are really good cycles. Like, I really would want it to be a PP, but it's not. During a slow cycle, we may get 2 stones instead of just 1. Wow, no lightning, seriously. It's a really good boss fight, I have to say. 1 last hit. Oh, boulders throughout the entirety of the boss fight. Oh, never mind. Never mind, I'm missing again. So you could see many slow cycles, and these are actually good. Counterintuitive for speedrunners, right? But these are actually good because there can be 1 during a cycle, 1 projectile. But when we shoot 1 before the second one spawns, we can get 2. You know the deal. We have unskippable cutscenes, so Robo, you have like 20 seconds to talk.
Okay then, let's do this. Kior, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support. We also have a $5 anonymous donation that says absolutely nothing, but it is going towards Donald. So we are $141 away from playing Donald in World of Illusion. Back to you.
Oh my, your timing was perfect. Indeed, because we have finished the unskippable cutscene. In this part of the game, we can choose between 3 worlds that we can go into, but the order doesn't matter. So we just pick the first one on the list. There was a potential damage boost. It's really tricky because you have to hit 5 really precise jumps in a row. Not frame perfect ones, but really precise. In order to perform the damage boost, but I was a little late on one of them, so I couldn't perform it, but it doesn't matter, it's still fine. So this is kind of a unique stage because it's only 1 screen. If I die, I have to repeat it, but I won't die because I'm that good. Because it's ending like right now. And the thing with this stage is it's very vertical. It's not that horizontal. You have to climb up, which is bad for casual players because you're really... the possibilities of falling down are really high. But if you're a good player and you like climbing in a platformer game, like most of the speedrunners of the platformer games, it's pretty good level. I like it actually, personally. And this is the ostrich riding on a monocycle or a unicycle, and he throws gears at us. Plot of this game, yes, the plot of gaming in general. He also has 3 patterns. He can throw the gears, because he throws 3 gears and only 1 stays at the surface. He can throw a close one, a middle one, and a furthest one. The furthest is the best because it's the closest to us. The close one is the worst because we don't have that much time to pick it up, as you could see. But if you are a speedrunner that plays this game for too much that he should have, it's really simple. So we are coming to the second stage. This cutscene is coming up is also unskippable, but it's like 2 seconds, so we don't bother because it's also just choosing a stage. Which stage do you want? Oh, the first one at the top. Cool, let's go. And it's a Western world because we're at the theme park, like you didn't see in a cutscene. First climbing section and then the worst section in the entirety of gaming. I took damage. Minecarts. Minecarts are a terrible section because there are boulders on the top of the screen that can go down at us, which is not that bad because we can easily avoid them. But the thing is, we accelerate this minecart with a lever just by pushing forwards or backwards, or left or right on the controller. The same controls for walking. And if you get hit by a boulder, you get iframes, invincibility frames. And during iframes, you cannot interact with anything, including the lever. So if you go forward, you go off the cart and die. Yay! We don't want to do this. And hopefully we won't. Right now we only have 2 hearts left. And it's the last boulder. Okay, we're cool. We're fine. We got through the stage. But I got damaged from the wrecking balls. I'm taking the acorn of safety. Because acorns heal chipmunks. That's how it works in everyday life. So we have 2 hearts versus a cart cat. I'm not making up the names of the bosses. These are the names that actually are canon. This is Cart Cat because he's a cat and he throws cards at us. He is a mini because he can either throw cards, which is good, or just walk around, which is bad. And the pattern that he goes around is totally random. He can just... Oh, I jumped a little bit too late. It's totally random. He can walk around 10 times or just walk around once and then throw cards at us. Right now he's giving me a decent-ish cycle because if he's standing on the ground, I can throw a card every single cycle, as you could see, and I can loop him, which is good. If he's on the first floor, on the second floor, I can only shoot him once every 2 cycles, which is not that optimal. But still, it was a decent boss fight. We have 2 stages left. Oh my god, we are going so fast with this game. You may wonder, wow, 2 stages left only, and we are 11 minutes in out of 20. Well, the last stage is so long, and the last boss fight is even longer. But we're going to that a little bit later. Right now, a nifty trick, diagonal shot just to kill the enemy above, because I don't want to damage boost through him, I want to have as much hearts as possible. And I can only kill him by this diagonal shot, because if I come near him, he starts to electrocute himself, and because of that he's invincible to any box damage. Yeah, that's a thing. Also a series of really hard jumps, of course, I'm getting hit again. So I only have 2 health. Possibly 1 if I screw up the jump that is coming up, because it's really tight and precise. Of course I fail it, because I do it a little bit too late. I'm actually gonna damage boost myself through the boss, and I'm taking an intentional death here, so I can restart the boss with full health this time. Because this boss is just a mess. This was supposed to be the last boss of the game, because he's on the cover of the game, like the cover of an NES game from 1993. And he has so many sprites, the background is black, so it doesn't take that much space, as you may see. The thing is with him, he is the only boss that doesn't disappear after you kill him. This boss, instead of disappearing, just surrenders, throws a white flag. And he puts random grimaces on his face, that's why his name is Grimacing Gecko. Yay! And the thing with him is, he has a wrecking ball on a chain in front of his bulldozer, let's say. And the bad thing about it is we cannot shoot any rubble, I guess, that he gives us through it, because it blocks it immediately. They have to shoot diagonally, which is not simple on a NES controller, and it's not simple if he's riding back and forth randomly, so I have to kind of predict where he's going. Thankfully, it's over, so we are at the final stage of the game. We got everything we need to track down Fat Cat, and we are at his hideout, and his hideout is actually pretty long run. It has like 5 or 6 screens, but it's really cool, and it has really cool music, like every single stage in this game, so it's really cool. The thing with that part, though, is that it's really hard. Like, imagine the last stage of the entire game being hard as a platforming level. Yeah, you may wonder why. This is the hardest screen of the game, because there are birds that fly kind of randomly. Because they technically have a set pattern, but they have a couple of patterns that they can follow. For example, this bird right there could spawn or not, which would save me time or not, because I should stop for him. And we got healed after that level, so it's pretty nice. Let's do something cool with our health, which is taking it away, because we have to damage boost through these lasers. We're supposed to wait for them, but waiting in speedruns, just come on, man, we're not doing this. We're not doing waiting in speedruns. We just go through. And that's why during the second hardest screen in the game, we only have 1 health. Yay, that's why this stage is really bad in terms of speedruns. The pattern of these balls is technically set, but sometimes they can just behave randomly, because that's how games work. They behave the same time every time, except they don't. Right now I'm taking the 1 acorn of safety before the final boss. Actually, I'm gonna take 2, screw it. Because it's the marathon run. I don't want to repeat the final boss because it's so long. As you can see, we're like 14 minutes in or something. And the last boss can take like even 5 of them. Because it's very climatic. As you can see, the lights turn off. It's definitely not because the background has to be black and the floor has to be black because the boss takes too much sprites of the NES memory. It's not because of that. It's because you have to make a proper climate for the game. So this is Robo Fat Cat. Surprise, surprise. It's not an actual Fat Cat, it's a Robo Fat Cat, because we fought an actual Fat Cat in the first game, so they thought, well, it would be pretty stupid to put Fat Cat in 2 games in a row, so we just put a Robo version of him that he built in an evening. I would like to have some skills like Fat Cat, because building a robot like this in 1 evening, jeez, that's pretty impressive, I have to say. And he does bad things as a villain again, because he throws projectiles that we can use at him. Oh, it didn't damage him? What? Okay, I'm learning something. That's cool. These bombs are timed. After 3 seconds they explode, and we can only hit them as they are exploding. So we have to be pretty precise with our hits. And it's not that simple, because his hitbox is pretty weird. That's the first part. The second part is, he takes 10 hits. I didn't mention this throughout the entire run. But every single boss in the game ramps up in terms of difficulty. First 3 bosses take 6 hits to die, the next one takes 7, next 3 take 8 hits to die, this one takes 10. By those timed bombs. So it's really important to, hit them, or make him fly on them and kill himself. That's also a thing. And after he takes 5 damage, he explodes a little bit, just a little bit. He bursts out some fires and stuff. He loses some screws, some plates from his armor, quote unquote. The thing is, it lags game heavily. As you can see, it's lagging pretty hard. And right now, every single time he lands down, he's gonna lag the game. And that's the exact time frame I have to hit him with the time bomb. So the time bomb is also lagged, so it's not the same as it was 5 hits ago. Great! You have to learn 2 patterns that are different because of the lag. The lag stays the same on a console, on an emulator, on the remastered Disney collection that is out there, or PS4, Xbox One, I believe, and PC. This still damaged him, okay, that's nice. We are at 6 or 7 damage. As soon as he takes the 10th damage, it's time. I have to say, it's a really good pace. It's sub 20, Jesus. I'm actually good at this game now. Didn't de-rest that much. Okay, so as you can see, the lag kicks in heavily, but thankfully, if we stick to the right side of the screen, every single time the timer hits 1, immediately you can throw it and it's gonna be fine. We can't throw it too low because we're gonna hit one of his fists and it's gonna block the damage, obviously. I think we are at 9, so the next hit it's time, but I'm bad at counting if I don't count out loud. So I think it may be time. Just get ready. Just be ready if it's time. I'm just gonna say this in the end. It's time, okay. On my timer, it's 17:56. That's 40 seconds of my PP. In an RNG heavy game, that's the fastest marathon run I've ever had in this game, let's be real. And I haven't practiced that much, so I'm really proud of this run. I hope you enjoyed the run as well. One thing before we end. We finished the game, we beaten the last boss, nothing's gonna happen yet, but you have to complete one more thing, because they didn't remove it from the game. The bonus round that gives us more lives. Because we have to have more lives at the end of the game, at the final cutscene, for some reason. So while the final cutscene plays, Robo, you can throw like 1 or 2 things before we go off.
Well, absolutely fantastic run. Great work. Yeah, so we are now only $141 away from Donald being run at for World of Illusion. So not too long to go. So all those Donald stands, it might be time for you guys to rise up. don't forget that if you do donate, then you are going to be eligible to win one of our many prizes, many of which have been donated by our sponsor, HyperX. Several different headsets, gaming mouse, pads, and there's also an indie games bundle, a separate prize. The minimum the minimum donation amount is $15 for the indie game bundle, and $25 is the maximum for some of the HyperX prizes. These do not need to be single donations. They can accumulate over the course of the marathon. So if you donate $5 now, and then $5 tomorrow, and then another $15 later on, etc., you can get in for all of those prizes, and there will be a link in the chats for that. But yeah, great work.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, ESA. I'm really glad I could be a part of the Disney blog during ESA Together. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Give me a follow on Twitch and Twitter. Who said that? It's a really great idea. So, I'm gonna head off. Shoutouts to the Polish community of speedrunners. Shoutouts to NES runners and Disney games runners in general. And see ya later somewhere. I don't know where yet.
See you later, Kaadzik. Are you running anything else this marathon?
No, but I'm gonna read donations. So yeah, you can hear me.
Excellent. Okay, we'll hear your lovely voice again. Look forward to it. Anyway, we're gonna head off for intermission. You guys have got not too long to go for prove that you stand Donald. And when we come back, we will be playing World of Illusion with Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. Who will it be? Ooh.